Hello, everyone. Hello to YouTube. Hello to everyone who's watching. I'm Pratyush Bhatt, and through this platform, through this one-hour discussion that we are going to have about the opportunities that are there, the challenges that are there for any non-tech professional who wants to dive into tech field, we'll have a two-way interactive conversation. I'll just share my experiences, my insights, what I think should be the avenue to students or people seeking opportunities in this field, what they can pursue, what I have pursued, and what are some career paths, some steps that you can take. So I would love it if this space is very interactive. By that I mean I would love if there are questions also coming. There are questions also coming in. So we have a provision of a YouTube chat here. So any questions that you have, please feel free to ask them. The only thing I ask of you is that I'll be answering the questions at the end of my presentation. I have a very small presentation prepared wherein I'll just share some of my insights. Feel free to give any feedback, add your insights and experiences as well. And then in the last 20 minutes of this 1 hour discussion, we can go through some questions. We can have some good conversations, some insightful conversations. So I'll begin by sharing my presentation. Uh, the topic of this discussion is challenges and opportunities. Let us let us be very focused and see that the challenges is used before opportunities. It is crucial to realize the challenges that we have, then only we can look for the opportunities. So once again, the topic is challenges and opportunities for non-B.Tech CS students in the IT industry. So we will give a very direct picture with the good, bad, and the ugly. Uh, Again, we'll have our own perspectives, our own insights. This is a very generalized idea. This will just act as a starting point. So without wasting any further time, I'll first just start sharing my PPT. So here is it. So yes, I hope my voice is audible. My screen is also visible. So it is about challenges and opportunities for non-CS B.Tech students in the IT industry. First of all, who am I? I'm a student. As you can see, I think my video is on, so you can see I'm a student. My name is Pratyush Bhatt, and as you can see, I have written right here. Let me just show on the point, the pointer here, that I am a chemical engineering student, which is an enigma, which is contradictory to a CS student. One can easily ask the question, what am I doing in the IT industry? What value can I give to the IT industry? What value does IT industry expect of me? So all of these will be answered in the upcoming slides, or I'll try as best to answer them. So this is the slide will can broadly be classified into 5 of these sections, where first I'll give an introduction of myself. Who am I? What have I done? Some of my internships, some of my projects, my skills, my certifications. I'll just talk about them. Then we'll go to the larger picture. Then we'll talk about the challenges. We'll talk about the challenges that we are facing, and then the opportunities that we have, and what career path can we make for ourselves. Career path, once again, it's a unique journey for everyone. So this will not be a short success. Rather, it will give a very brief idea, a generalized idea. And finally, as I said earlier, we'll move to the Q&A section, uh, wherein we'll just have some interactions. So what I'll first do is I'll just switch off my video, because you have seen my face. I think you have added a name to the face already. So basically, to not consume any unnecessary data, I'll just stop my video, and then when we are doing the Q&A session, I might as well switch on my video again, because then I'll not be presenting. So I'll just stop my video right now. After that, I'll switch it on when we are doing the Q&A session. I hope that is fine by everyone. Okay, so let me just start the PPT by first describing about myself, about me. So I am a chemical engineering student from the Indian Institute of Petroleum and Energy, Visakhapatnam. Some of you may not have heard of this institute, and I do not blame you for that. It is a relatively new institute. It selects student on the basis of JEE advanced course. So in the academic perspective, it is on par with IITs who also select through JEE advanced course. I was a PCEM student from my 11th and 12th. Engineering was my goal only. I cannot categorically say that chemical engineering was my only goal. However, I was good in chemistry. uh, but still, as most students, I wanted to make a name for myself in the computer science industry, as it was the hype that time, and again this time also it is a hype, with the added benefit of AI and machine learning also this time. So I gave my GE advanced, but my score was not high enough for me to reach an IIT, but it was good enough for me to get an admission into an Indian Institute of Petroleum Energy, which gives specialized training for chemical and petroleum engineering, realizing the potential they have in this new dynamic age. So they're not giving us age-old methods of adding. When we hear chemical engineering, people do see beakers being mixed, chemicals being mixed, reactions being formed. It is more or less a misnomer. That does not happen. And me personally, I'm trying to dive away further from that, as you can see from this about me slide, because I'm focusing more on a dynamic role in optimization of process, sustainability, innovation skills. Whether you are not a computer science engineer, whether you're not a technical engineer, if you're a young individual, you know that climate change is a problem. Now you go one layer deeper, that sustainability is the need of the hour. And what is sustainability? We have basically learned in our childhood that, a very bookish definition, if I may as well say it, that satisfying needs of today, but not compromising needs of tomorrow. But mathematically, how can that be done? That can only be done by leveraging technology, by optimizing, by using the appropriate amount of technology, appropriate amount of input to produce a relevant amount of output. This is a definition I have sustainability, and through this only I have guided my whole journey to use the optimal amount of resources, input resources in any industry. When I say industry, imagine any industry, electronical, industrial, civil, even go through economical, healthcare. You need to have the minimum or the optimal amount of resources, but the output should be filled with quality, should not be substandard. So that is what I'm utilizing here. I'm using my sustainability, optimization, innovation skills to create some projects and advancements in the energy sector. So basically, gone are the days when we are creating handcraft and woven traditional large scale industry projects. Now is a time of automation. Now is a time of large scale industries where, with the click of a button, highly customer specific applications and projects and items are being built. So this race that is going to get all the more heated in the upcoming years, we need to have a good idea about it, regardless of who you are. So with this pretext that we have established, we'll move with what are my goals. I've just discussed what I want to do. But before that, let me do another thing. I'll give you, people who are watching this stream, I'll give you all a scenario. I'll give you three options to choose from. Uh, you can answer on the YouTube chat, or you can think of it inside your head only. I'll give you three options. Okay. First is, you need to hire. Uh, you want to create a website. You want to create a website for sustainable environmental practices. Who will you hire? First, option A. Option A is a computer science student with a web development experience, with a front end experience, if I may be allowed to say. Second is an environmental engineer with no front end experience, no HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React experience. And third is someone who's an environmental engineer, yet yet has made some web development projects, yet he's used to they are used with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React and PHP and many front end languages, and can create a proper standard website. Who will you hire for creating this website? See, I cannot right now see the answer, but I will assume what I think the answer will be, that you'll hire the third person. You'll hire someone that is bringing a mixed skill set. See, the answers that you'll give shows us the reality, shows us which path we are headed to. No one wants a pure stream student, and this goes for even computer science fields. I am very good at front end, but I do not know the content, the research part, the history part, the analysis part of what I'm creating, what I'm making. I will not be as good as someone else And in this case, this third person, who is an environmental engineer, who realizes the nitty-gritties of environment, realizes how to optimize sustainable practices, and yet has an idea to make good websites also. You will hire that third person because you are getting two skill sets in one person. It's like you're hiring two job profiles at the cost of one. So it will be sustainable for you also, if I might as well say. It will be better for that person also. Similarly, I'll give further examples of what I'm trying to establish here. Uh, you are making an e-commerce platform. You hired a computer science student to analyze the trends, to what modifications to the user interface can we make to increase our conversions or satisfaction. That is one person. You can hire that person. A CS student to basically increase your e-commerce output. Second is you hire a psychology student. Psychology student will also do the same thing. They will identify trends and suggest modifications, how the user will best react. But that person has no experience in once again front end. Third, and I think you know where I'm heading with it. Third is you hire a psychology student who has experience in front end languages, who has worked in e-commerce websites, who has done projects in which they have identified trends in major e-commerce websites, and they have given proper outputs and have satisfactorily increased conversion rates. Wouldn't you hire the third person, even though that person doesn't have a computer science degree? Finally, I will not belabor the point because I think the point has been established. But finally, I'll give you an example. You want to establish customer purchasing patterns in your same e-commerce company. Once again, you have a CS student, and this time, second case, you have an economics student, and third is an economics student with projects, with skills, with certifications in the CS industry. You will regard more or less, it's high probability. I will say, I will not say 100% sure, but with a high probability, you will have the third student. My point being that time has come for us to look for interfield jobs, to look for hybrid skill sets, to look for diverse applications. So interfield job, this is my goal also. So I'm a chemical engineer. In the next slides, I will mention that how chemical engineers are also necessary in this interfield era. I'll give some real life examples of what I have done and what I intend to do. But for any non-CS domain, you can make it an interfield job because one cannot think in a myopic perspective that only my industry, my stream, I will not take other streams hand in hand and create a coherent and resonant structure. Only basic chemical applying basic chemistry will not take me further away. Will not make me will not make me stand out. But if I've done automation, if I've done classification of age-old chemical industry problems, if I've done analysis on them, not using traditional human methods, which are often cumbersome and cost ineffective, rather I've used Python, machine learning, data science, wouldn't that be better? So again, not all people watching this stream may be chemical engineers. So do not think in perspective of that only. Any interfield job, once again, from civil to mechanical to electrical, even ECE to some extent. ECE may be classified more in the neighborhood of CS, but there are some disparities within them. So you can also make that an interfield job. Even psychology, economics, BSc, anything can be made an interfield job. So let us move forward. I will talk about specific to chemical engineering, this introduction. So this is a disclaimer sort of that please do not general these points are specific to me, my journey, and how one can generalize them, but they may not be exactly applicable to your journey. So when I'm giving these slides, I need you to imagine your projects, your internships, your skills, what you have done in the interfield direction, how you can make it better, whether you have done something you can make it, maybe note it down also if you have done anything. First I'll talk about my internships. The first is Tata Advanced Systems Limited, Hyderabad. So those who don't know, I'll just give, this is an aeronautics company. This is the first interfield aspect. I am a chemical engineer. What am I doing in aeronautics field? So we were making, not we were making, I will not say that, but we were helping create aircrafts, Pilatus, CJ250 Apache for our buyers, for Boeing, for Airbus. So Now, can I be a pure chemical engineer here? No, because you need aircraft, they need precise manufacturing. So my project here was automated hexavalent chromium monitoring, where I developed or gave ideas how to develop cost effective sensors. Now, when you hear chemical engineers, the point of sensors, the point of automation, the point of monitoring doesn't come to mind. One may be thinking that I'll be doing some experiments using some beakers and mixing chemicals, but I did none of these things. Hexavalent chromium, those of you are non-chemical, I'll just say it's a very dangerous compound. So we need to monitor it. And if you're not able to relate with it, think of it like a ppm measuring machine that we have in like Delhi and many cities. ppm 2.5, ppm 10, automated measuring machines. So I did more or less similar to this also. At this industry, I created sensors. I helped in creating sensors which will be able to automate chromium measurement. Because what was done previously was you would take out a batch of chromium, you would go to the laboratory and do experiments on it and come back with the data. What we are trying to do is we are automating it. No need to take it out chromium. There will be sensors, some electrodes, and chromium will flow over them, and automatically measurements will be taken. What what all skills did I needed? I needed neural networks for it. I needed Python, machine learning, data science. I had to do a small course also because I was very confused. I was a bit overwhelmed. But then I made a course, and now this is shining on my CV. I can apply with this point to my chemical internships also, my chemical jobs also, and my CS jobs also. Second is a more direct one, and this is Bolt IoT Invent from Private Limited, this platform that you are seeing it from. So I did a web development internships under them. Basically, what we did was, this is not an endorsement of the Bolt platform. I'm not being given any advantages with them, but I was able to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React at my own pace with a good feedback system. A very simplistic point of view, I was very beginner approach, and then we made some projects out of them. Then I was asked to submit a project, a web development project to Bolt IoT to receive my certificate. So I'll show you the project I made. I made many projects over time in web development field to have consistent efficiency in it. Otherwise, you may get lethargic or lazy. Or once you have learned HTML, you may be overconfident. You may not learn it again. So this is what I did at Bolt IoT. Third is Innovative Technologies Private Limited. Here I was a cybersecurity intern. This I did 2 years ago. So basically, I learned Kali Linux, I learned Parrot, I learned password cracking, I learned more or less ethical hacking, many user interface applications, vulnerability analysis. I did. I have done many projects based on it, and with this, I can do freelancing also, where I for a standard rate I can do a vulnerability assessment on your computer, a VA on your computer or your system or your hardware, and I will give some problems, high problems, moderate problems. I'll rate it them. I'll give a criticality rating. So this, all these, when you are listening, you may not see as a chemical engineer. I'll move to the fourth one also, but these three also. One can say, hey, how chemical engineers are relevant? Aren't you like doing double time? But I'll just give this example. Tata Advanced I've already explained the hexavalent chromium. Bolt IoT, I'll make web projects based on some chemical industry. I will make some interactive web projects, a photo gallery, or some interactive systems where I can show some engineering problems, where I can show some engineering simulations, chemical engineering simulations, where I can portray some innovative chemical idea that I have. So what I'm doing is I'm basically combining two different genres, I can say, making an altogether new field through them. I'm not the first person to have done them, but people still have some hesitancy towards it. They are comfortable more or less in their own field only, and they are slightly hesitant or fearful to dive into the other one. But once you have done it, it is great. Again, to this innovative technologies, what I can do is I can test some chemical industrial applications. So once again, those of you are unaware, aspen is a tool that is used by chemical engineers to make models. So every month they are releasing some new models, some updates. So you can sign up and you can test those models and you can give feedback to them. So only chemical engineers or its related fields can do that, not a computer science engineer. but now I have a VA certificate also. So I can do a proper VA assessment, all the while having a chemical engineering degree also. So my word will be counted double its value. And finally, this atypical advantage New Delhi. For some of you, this name may ring a bell because this company has been to Shark Tank season 2, atypical advantage. So this actually gave one, more or less, I can say, it helped me build my soft skills. I was a marketing lead there. Once again, people can say, Pratyush, this is chemical engineering. What are you doing there? But I'll just say this helped me build my soft skills: networking, communication, problem solving, time management. We were able to curate a list of clients and make data entry in Excel sheets. Not as exciting, or one can say relevant. People may say, I will disagree, but people may say that not as good as the previous three. But these also help me, the communication skills that I have. The confidence that I have to present this slide in front of you is because of the fourth internship. I'm confident to talk to strangers. I'm confident enough to lay out my internships, my projects, my journey without any stage fright. I mean, I maybe I do have stage fright. You can give that to me as a feedback when we are ending it. So then we move on to the projects I have done. See, I think we have established more or less my journey and my internship. So I'll just now be a bit more brief because we have a lot to cover. So this is triboelectric nano generator. So once again, I will not waste your time what it is, because this we are just talking about challenges and opportunities. If I dive deep into this, we may be wasting some time. So basically, it is that, you know, those shoes, that those magic shoes that you can wear and they will charge your phone also, because your walking is generating energy. That is the principle of Teng. Your friction energy is converted to electrical energy. I used some chemical, you can see. Now, how did I use computer science? I use machine learning to find the optimum number of steps necessary to create the optimum number of charge. So I established a charge versus energy relation through machine learning for my project. Second is the carbon capture challenge. This once again, for non-chemicals, I'll just say carbon capture is a big issue. So we created a model, and where we create the model, we create the model in Aspen, in COMSOL, which is another chemical language, and again we optimized it. The best amount of carbon, the least volume required, the toxicity of gases, all of that was done through machine learning, AI and machine learning. So you can see how these processes are supplementing or augmenting our current journey. Finally, we have spectrophotometry. All these three projects have the same principle: use basic chemical engineering principles and optimize it using CS principles. Spectrophotometry is just that how light reacts to colored liquids. So, you know, you are passing light through colored solution, light will react differently, light will bend differently. Once again, you have to make a graph out of it. One graph you can make traditionally, but if you have 100 compounds, you will need a database, you will need SQL, you will need AI skills, you will have a table, you will need regression analysis to make a proper chart. So I did all these three for my chemical engineering. I can show both these three of these skills for my chemical engineering as well as CS job. Okay, this was the Bolt ID project I was talking about. How many projects I've done over the last few months. I have just finished this internship at Bolt IoT, yet I have done quite a few projects just to have relevancy, just to continue practice. So this is an interactive photo gallery. You know what basically does that? You can open, it will enlarge. There's some uh, CSS effects also. See, to a hardened CS web development intern, this will seem slightly basic, and I will agree. This was the first project I did as web development intern. Now I'm doing more projects. I have made a tic tac toe game. I have made a website for my cousin, so who is in the marketing industry. Some earphones I've made, some interactive earphone display I've made, so I can share that. So I think the slide is okay. Just a second, let me just get back to it. So again, I think if there may be a chance that some of you have missed some of the slides. So once again, my voice may not. You may not have missed my voice, but some content you may have missed. So once again, I'm just going through. This was the about me section. Then I moved to what are my goals. Then I talked about my internships. These are four internships. I mentioned them in detail. And then I mentioned about my projects. So I hope you have gone through these slides. I hope you have seen them. Is it fine? Can we move? Okay, my projects. Yes. So we'll move from here. Okay. Okay. So five slides we have seen. This is the IT project I was talking about. Photo gallery that we made. I discussed about that also. Now, this was just the introduction part. Let us move to the challenges we face. See, I will not give you a rosy-eyed picture that everything is fine, that you can easily morph these two industries and create a very good place for you. Then everyone would be pursuing a non-CS stream because CS is by default given to you. That is not the case. There are some challenges. We'll briefly touch upon them because we have to give you the good, bad, and the ugly of this. First of all, even though we're discussing about challenges, I'll just start off with this quote. So as to not make you disheartened. So in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. So I'll be listing some challenges. Please do not see them as challenges only. See them. Please do not see them as challenges only. See them as some opportunity. How you can. So that's how I've written it. Perceived challenges. I've written it in double quotations. These are the perceived challenges. These are not necessarily true, but people will bring it up to you. Recruiters, fellow students, IT students will bring it up to you. So better to face them head on. First is lack of direct relevance. CS students, CS graduates are given a structured course. They start from the beginning. Full faculty and mentors are behind them to make relevant coursework for them. So there's a lack of direct relevance. If a CS job is coming up, one CS student has applied and one chem student has applied, immediately at your first impression, maybe that the CA student will be given some more priority, that person will have more relevance. When you see the resume, when you do the interview, the picture may be different, but the first impression is this only. This is the perceived challenge. Second is a skill gap. Again, this is not true. If you're not if you're pursuing a proper structured course by yourself, you will not have a skill gap. But again, this is a perceived challenge. People do perceive a skill gap in the IT industry between CS graduates and non-CS graduates. Third is your direct competition with CS graduates. CS graduates, with no fault of their own, it is quite natural only, but they have their own groups, their own placement cell, coordination cell, internship opportunities, where they have some networking skills. So the third point runs side by side with the fifth point. They have formed some valuable network, both with alumni, with current students, with mentors, with other industries and colleges, where they may get a boost in internships or jobs. So third and fifth point can more or less be merged together. Fourth is an overall representation of these five challenges. That there are some stereotypes and misconceptions. When I got chemical engineering, people thought that I'll be mixing chemicals. When a very crude way to say it, when my friend got civil engineering, people thought that he would be focused on building construction only. When they got electrical, when some of my friends got electrical, they thought that you're just doing electricity current also. While some there is some truth to it, it doesn't paint the whole picture, and this may lead to making of some stereotypes. So we have to be rid of them. So okay, these are perceived challenges. So how can we overcome them? Okay, you can have a cross-disciplinary approach. See, behind every challenge lies an opportunity. So you have the skills of your chemical engineering or any engineering, let's say any non-CS engineering. Utilize that. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't forget it. Make it better through CS. Make it better the way I've tried doing it. I've not done it quite well. I still have a long way to go. But the way I've tried doing it, maybe one can go in that direction. So how can you overcome this first point? The first point I've given, this approach, is by the second point, critical thinking and creativity. So what are the relevant problems? What are the projects that can be do? And mind you, there are many projects in the industry, hundreds of projects. But if you have to choose projects that have some impact, that are relevant to you, that you can carefully and truthfully morph. from your industry to CS industry. So you require some critical thinking and some creativity for it. You cannot randomly pick a project because, to be very honest, there are hundreds of projects lying around. You need to have an eye-catching project, which basically means you need to have a project which can have some impact on your industry. The second point then can be solved by the third point, which is a problem-solving approach. What is the problem in your industry? Is your industry perfect? If your industry is perfect, you require no problem to solve. Then everything is gold and merry. Because that is not the case. We are continuously striving for optimization, for classification, for regression, for analysis, for clustering. Uh, if these terms seem new to you, classification just means that we have some variables, some uh, independent variables, some x. So we need to paint out y. So we'll use problem-solving approach. And clustering is we are seeing some patterns in some random data. What are the trends? What are the patterns? So these terms, trends, patterns, they are necessary for all industries, for any industry, even for economics, for psychology, for science, for humanities, for language. Which linguistic prowess is people speaking? What are the current Gen Z trends? What language do we speak? That can be done, to be very honest, with CS. It may seem slightly naive and childish, but yes, what is the most common Gen Z phrase? CS, AI and ML can help you analyze it. Okay, then, and next we move on to hands-on learning. So you need to address stereotypes and misconceptions. How you can do that? The third point, problem solving approach, can be done by only hands-on learning. The CS students will be learning for 4 years or 3 years. uh, you need to put an equal effort. Now by that I don't mean you need to study 8 hours every day for CS. That will be very naive. What you need to do is you need to see what your strengths are, just augment them slightly. That is it. So just a few hours, 1 or 2 hours every day. I'm learning. Let's talk about chemical engineering, okay? Because I'll be very honest, I'm a chemical engineer, so I'll be talking about them as examples only. Fluid mechanics. Fluid mechanics, as the name suggests, fluid is flowing in a pipe. Again, optimization. Can that be done? Yes. At what velocity maximum fluid will come with without damaging the pipe the most? So we have some constraints. What are the constraints? Damage to pipe. So velocity cannot be very high. Other constraint is output. We need output in this range. Velocity cannot be very low. What is the optimal range? So what you will do? You'll get some data points. You will get thousands of data points and chemical libraries which are available online. You will establish what is a trend. You have some dependent variables and some independent variables, and you will come to your problem that for this fluid with this viscosity, with this density, this will be the velocity, optimum velocity, and voila, you have created a great project, a relevant project. So this skill set is what you need to have. These are the challenges that we discussed. So we have done the halfway mark. We'll now talk about the opportunities. So we'll have Mr. Einstein as a guiding light. So after every challenge, we'll go to the opportunity. What are the skills that can be utilized in the CS industry? First of all, I'm not going to do all four of these things. It may be a bit too much. I'll be honest, even I have not done all four of them. But these are the four general divisions you can have that I have done of the skills that can be utilized. Hackathons, web projects, Python, C++, Java, which are like one can say coding languages, and then GFG and HackerRank. So, what are hackathons? Hackathon is you'll given a problem statement. You know, hackathon. When I hear hackathons, the synonym that comes to my mind is optimization. Basically, hackathons are nothing but optimizations. You need to create an optimal solution. You'll be given a problem. You have to come at a sustainable and optimizable solution. So, if you have practiced so many projects, won't a hackathon come naturally to you? So, as a beginner, as an outsider, try to do virtual hackathons first. Try to do beginner hackathons, small scale hackathons, and you will form good networks also. It's just not about winning there. You will see how others are approaching the problem also, what solutions they are giving, the time complexity, the space complexity. This was the first dimension, problem solving. Hackathon means problem solving. Then we move on to web projects. In hackathons, one point I may have added is that you'll be collaborating with diverse teams. and the environment is also very time sensitive, if you know. So it will once again help you in your soft skills also, your teamwork and your project management skills as well. So not only will you devise innovative solutions with limited time frames, you'll also nurture your creativity. Second is similar to the creativity portfolio is creating web projects. Can any two websites be same? If the two websites are same, the one who made the website in the one who made the original website is the original creator, but the second one is more or less a copycat. So all websites, all web pages, all web projects should be unique. So you have a very unique opportunity to dive in some place where you can harness your creativity to the fullest extent and create profiles, projects specific to you. Now, see, one example I can give, a very general example. So everyone, not everyone, but people should do it. Is now we don't have necessarily resumes offline. We have a system of online resumes. And what some CS people do it, they make a website of their name. So my name is Pratyush Bhatt, let's say. So I make a website called pratyushbhatt.com. If this domain is taken, I'll add some numbers also. I'll make this name. Therein I will list my resume, my projects, my skills. And I can add in this website to my resume offline also as a link. So you can open it or my online. So you can make a website of yourselves. It may sound a bit vain, but this will help recruiters. This will show some skills of yours. You can highlight your non-CS skills in the resume, and all the more your CS skills will be already highlighted because you have made a site of it. So you don't even need to paint your CS skills because you are already doing it on a website. Third is you need to have not all languages. You cannot master all languages. Not even CS students can. But for non-CS students, we just need to have a basic idea of three languages. Basically, you can disagree with me here. Python, C++, and Java. Python alone will not suffice because then you have to move on further to AI and ML, to artificial intelligence and machine learning, to data science, to neural networks. C++ is very good for the fourth point that we'll be coming to, which is Geeks for Geeks, GFG or Hacker Rank. This will help you to do problem solving, data structures basically, where you are solving problems, where you are devising solutions. Some some puzzles that are coming, some print output you need to give, an input is given, how to print that in the best possible time. So you need C++ for that. And Java is a new trending language that is very robust and keeps on changing. So you need to have a hand on that also. So these languages will empower you to develop software, analyze data, and create efficient algorithms. So these three languages can be used in your projects for various technical scenarios. I primarily use Python, AI and ML, one can say, in my three projects and in my internships. But you can use the other two languages also, C++ and Java. Python is a very it has some advantages also, as you can see. But it is a very slow language compared to the other two languages. So you can use that also. Finally, we want to GFG and HackerRank for your overall development, just to make you relevant, to keep you on track. You have see this is what you have heard everywhere. I am not expanding on that point. You know what Geeks for Geeks is. If you don't know, I'll just say it's a platform you can develop your skills, algorithm skills, CS skills. It will help you give you a strong foundation. What I'm basically saying, you will continuous learning will be developed. You will foster more or less. So, but you have to be consistent on it. You cannot practice for 1 week or 1 month and then leave it away and say my skills are done. So I have done HackerRank in SQL. I have done C, Java. I have some starts. You can look for my profile also. So you need to have that mentality. Half an hour, two problems, five problems, just 1 day, but be consistent. So now we'll talk about some success stories because everyone loves some success stories. So these are the four success stories that I have brought in front of you. You can see that there are four names, but only one picture because I personally have some bias towards Satya Nadella, mainly because of his Indian background. So the photo right here is of Satya Nadella. But we'll talk about all four of them. Susan Wojcicki is a YouTube CEO. One can think YouTube such a robust algorithm, millions of videos and all content. She must be a CS engineer. She must be data science engineer. But it is not true. She has a background in history and literature. So she has defied conventional paths to become the CEO of YouTube. So one can say that to become a CEO, you need some soft skills also. her leadership skills, her technology acumen. So she has driven YouTube to this unparalleled prominence. Again, we talked about Tim Cook, Apple, iPhone, the prime example of technology. But Tim Cook, he's a graduate in industrial engineering. So he's also exemplifying to us a multidisciplinary perspective, how it can thrive in the tech industry. So when you have done interdisciplinary growth, it will give you a diverse point of view. So Tim Cook, I believe, has a very diverse vision, a strategic vision. So his excellence has made Apple's growth skyrocket. So leadership can transcend any technical background. Then we move to Adele Goldberg. This is a programming language also. Once again, programming language. Once again, Adele Goldberg. Of course, she has to be a CS practitioner. She doing CS and C++, Java, Python. But no, she's a psychologist by training, and she developed the groundbreaking small talk programming language. So, and finally, we move on to Satya Nadella. He has a background, I think, in electrical engineering and business administration. But the fusion he has made of technical and managerial skills. So again, when I mention non-B.Tech CS students, it also means management students also. They can also make a great fusion. Satya Nadella being a prime example. So well-rounded skill sets are the need of the hour. I'm just trying to say. There's one example I've left away. I think many people know about him. Sundar Pichai. So the way I have not mentioned him because everyone knows about him. So these four examples I put forward to you. Now, how to start the journey? This is like the prerequisite for it. First, you need to believe in these three things. That you need to have a hybrid skill set, and it is a good thing that you have a hybrid skill set. So my fusion of chemical engineering with IT skills offers me a unique advantage. That the keywords, I can apply it to chemical engineering jobs as a prerequisite. But if I try hard enough, if I am focused, if I'm consistent, I can dive into a CS job also. So I have my options open, which is more lucrative, which is more profitable, which have more impact on the society. I'll join according to my skill set, which I have in both. So the ability to bridge domains, this is a great skill that you have, better than any pure skill set person. Second, your personal branding. You need to create a distinct personal brand of you. You are doing industrial engineering and CS engineering. Combine them, make your own brand. That I'm doing this and this, and I've made this new unique thing. I've added X and Y. I've made entire new Z thing. I'm an environmental engineer and I've made CS to make this entirely new thing. This is your personal brand, so you have to advertise it. So finally, this is a generalized point only. You need to harness the power of diversity. So this, don't be afraid of being different. The richness that your perspective will bring will greatly help teams and projects, as we have seen in our success stories. So my diverse background will help cater to a broader pool of ideas and approaches, creating problem solving innovation. See, I'll give you an example. There is a reactor that is not producing optimal output, so you can bring a chemical engineer. That person will do their traditional calculations, some equations, mathematics, and will come at a solution. You'll bring in a CS graduate also to optimize it. That person will use a program, will use AI and ML, will use other skill sets to create optimization. But that second person will not know what is reaction, what is the heat released, the metals used, compound used. The first person will know, but that person will not know how to optimize. So you can bridge both of these gaps. You will know about the reactions and you'll also use optimization. Harness this power of diversity. I will tell you some applications in my engineering, and I have worked on all six of these. These are not some random applications I'm telling you. So one can do environmental monitoring. See, pollution is a rising case. Regardless of which job you are in, climate change we all realize is a threat. So we can have sensors, we can have quality monitoring, air quality monitoring, pollution levels monitoring, flora fauna degradation. How can you do robustly? Will you send a human in a dangerous let's say forest to see what is the population of tigers? Can you use some sensors? Can you use some AI ML technology? That you have to look out for. Second, another is healthcare and medical applications. Nowadays we are coming with special fitbits and special watches and skill sets. So these are a culmination of both technologies of AI and ML, because smart wearables, I'm saying, patient care and diagnostics and treatments. A very big problem is cancer diagnosis. So you can have some trends, some features in CS, it is called in AIML, health, history, age, gender, BP, blood, and then you'll form how likely you are to have cancer. This is a very crucial topic because you cannot have false positive or false negative. You need to have be pinpoint accurate in such a stringent case. So this is a continuous field of development. Most features you can have, not to have overfitting or underfitting, to get the optimal prediction, which is a third point also, data driven decision making. I'll give you random thousands of data points. Can you make a trend out of it? Can you prescribe something? Can you give me what how the industry will go? First, you'll have to cancel some redundant data and make proper analysis. Will EV replace, let's say, fossil fuels? I'll give you some data. Come as a prediction. I will not ask a human. A human has some advantage. It will give some realistic perspective. But an AI ML will give a very, very technical and precise perspective. So you can tap into that. Fourth, what I have done, I've also done this. Uh, Close optimal wastewater removal. So nowadays we are using wastewater recycling. So basically, how to say this in a layman perspective is, we have ppm and tss and tds meaning total suspended solids, total dissolved solids, how much you can remove for efficient consumption, having the least cost. This you can do through your CS. And then you can advertise it using web development, and then you can make time complexity using C++ and Java. So you can use all of these together. Fifth is ion detection under a chemical field. I will not dive deep into it. It basically means you can monitor various ions, and some ions are dangerous, like chrome. We talked about chromium, which is a sixth topic also, which I've discussed in my internship. So I will not discuss it here. So these are the basic real life applications. So if you are a, let's say, electrical engineer, you may not have the exact same six applications. You will have different. I need you to have different applications. One cannot all have six same projects, two people. This will be very dangerous. Okay, this one can say na, that it will be hard for us to enter. The industry is very saturated. That is not true actually. 85 million jobs are being projected by 2027 by the World Economic Times, and they will not necessarily have pure CS students, because everything is, the lines are becoming blurry. You need technical writer. I told you, psychologists, economics, e-commerce trends. So anyone can come into them. These are the coming booms that are coming. AI and machine learning. I've been talking about them for time and time. So I'll just say that these are data. You can just go through that. 190.61 billion dollars will reach CAGR, which is, I think, compound annual growth rate by 2025. So jobs are going to exponentially multiply. There's a fear that AI will replace our jobs, but my friend says that, and we have heard it also, that AI will not replace your job. People who know AI will take over your job. Then we have IoT, Internet of Things, which again, not an endorsement, but Bolt IoT is focusing on this. So it is more than AI. It is projected to reach $1.3 trillion by 2026 with a 9.1% growth. And finally, we have healthcare technology. I talked about a very important example of cancer research. Other diabetes, sugar, BP, cancer has also many forms: blood cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer, tumors. This will help in that. Now, all of that is done. We'll move to the final sections. I think we are running out of time. So, okay, so I'll just quickly go over some 5 key steps. Okay, these you have to follow generally. Okay, uh, first is you have to be in some coding boot camps. Okay, so we can have Levagon, General Assembly to get some coding skills and practical experience. You're already doing hackathons, but what boot camps offer is an intensive focused training. It will help you to bridge some small skill gaps that you may have here and there. Second is you can do some be a part of open source communities. Most of you may have heard of GitHub. It's like a library of code. So just utilize that. You can just go to github.com and see what all they have to offer. So you can enhance your current project by going to GitHub and see what others have done. It will also, help you showcase your skills. You can put it on GitHub, foster your networking, and offer practical experience in collaborative software development. Because in real life project, you will not do it alone. You will do it in a team. It will help you do collaboration. Third is MOOCs and university courses. So MOOCs means massive open online course, which I think Coursera offers by Stanford University on machine learning specialization. So what if you don't have from a reputed Indian college? You can have a reputed Stanford University online course. That is not the same comparing between different universities, but you can have best of the both worlds. You can do your non-CS degree as well as you can do a university course from Stanford. So it will offer you flexibility in learning and help you get diverse topics, data science and beyond. Then career development platforms, you have got a lot of equipment, got of technical skills, but you're not advertising yourself properly because you have to advertise yourself. So the prime example is LinkedIn. So you have to leverage your LinkedIn profile. So you need to get some job seeking skills. I mentioned about soft skills. So you have Toasters platform, public speaking forums. You can be part of them also because this is a meme. I think meme kind of that CS students or more broadly technical students can optimize great codes, can create magnificent large codes, but they cannot write one essay. This is more exaggeration only, a meme only, not to be taken in a wrong way. But that is true. We need to focus on soft skills also. So you need to focus on career development platforms. LinkedIn being a prime example. So you can go to my LinkedIn profile also, Pratyush Bhatt. You can look at my profile also. It will offer more or less a hybrid approach. Finally, we move to tech podcasts and newsletters. So you can subscribe to A16Z, a tech focused podcast. Listen to latest trends so that you are in the loop. So that don't do outdated technology. You know, regularly consume these content so you are informed and maybe inspired also. So you are attending this presentation. Maybe you wanted to see some other perspective. This is similar to the fifth point only. So the four, remember starting of the slide, I gave you four examples of business analyst, data analyst, UI, UX, technical writer. So I did not specifically mention these job profiles, but here they are. I was mentioning these topics. So imagine an economic student being a data analyst, psychology student being a business analyst, a technical writer being an environmental engineer being a technical writer. So all of these you can become. It is not that these are CS jobs. These are jobs that you can do. Finally, you have to navigate the market. Once again, you have to sell yourself. This may sound a bit crude, but that is to be done only. How to do that? Interview preparation and resume making. So you need to showcase your technical proficiency. So while you're not a traditional CS student, they will see, let's say, chemical engineering, but you can showcase your coding skills by mentioning coding challenges, projects, and contributions to open source platforms. Have a link to your GitHub, to your other technical profiles. Then you can showcase your lead code, hacker rank, geeks for geeks, code signal profiles, projects. Again, not only projects, your projects with impacts, and again, soft skills. Fourth part is soft skills. Your adaptability. Just because this is adaptability only. You are moving from one stream to another. So your problem solving approach. Finally, we want to resume making. Again, you talk about your professional summary, the relevant coursework you have done, uh, but do not show it as you've completely abandoned your core profession. Just I have belabored the point. I will keep on reiterating the point that you have to optimize your skill set, optimize your current non-technical skill set by adding a mix of CS. Don't completely dive into CS, but because then you'll be competing with pure CS students. Then it will be slightly hard for you. Of course, if you can do it, then all the more power to you. So I think that is it for my side. I think we have taken more than 50 minutes, so I'm sorry if I've taken a lot of time, but we'll just quickly move on to the Q&A session. So any questions you all have, please feel free to ask them. I'll be receiving them and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. So one question I see here is, what is the suggestion you want to give for ECE students? I'll give the suggestion for ECE students I've been giving for all non-IT students. Is that ECE is the electrical, the CS, the IT. It already is an interdisciplinary field. So one can claim that things are easy. Now you have to optimize it further. Now you have to use the current emerging technologies. CS alone is not fine. Move on to AI, move on to ML, move on to IoT, move on to data science and cloud computing. You can make sophisticated sensors that are cost effective, cheap, can handle dangerous terrains and problems, and yet only you as an EC student can do. That is my advice. What you can do. If others can do, the recruiter will hire them. So this is a suggestion I would like to give, not only for EC students, but for everyone. What is the skill that separates you? You need to focus on that. So that is one question I received here. So I think that is all. That is the one question I received. So I hope that this interaction will have you self-introspecting, will have you ask some questions to yourselves. And I'm very open to feedback, so you can reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn also. Uh, so that is it. I think I hope that some insights you gained, some words of confidence, some words of motivation, some challenges, some insights, some data you received. So I think that is it from my side. If there's nothing further, I'll be signing off now. So everyone, please have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for attending the session. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Saturday. Enjoy the Sunday, and let us keep learning. Okay, then. Have a great day. Thank you.